Towards where Davy Rogers is up. Rogers swings the left. Oh, Davy Rogers! What a goal by Davy Rogers!
Not one person in this stadium seen this coming half.
You can see the guards behind the goal at the main stand. They will be investigating Shelbourne for robbery. They have absolutely mugged Treaty United here at Top.
And find the goal! Harry Wood, the jersey's off. 6 minutes to...
Look at the bad one! What a goal that is!
Hi folks, welcome to another LOI episode with a slight change today. Myself, I'm diving in from Portugal, and so there might be some obstacles along the way because I'm using a different device. So I'm still getting used to it, but the crack is the same. We're going to discuss the upcoming games. So there are 5 happening in the next day or two, and we also will go through the Ireland game, which turned out to be good news for us. We managed to stay in Group B, and I think the performance was quite consistent. But to discuss all this, I have my good friend Cornell. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
I'm delighted to have you here. So let's go through that. Just before we go any further, I want to encourage everyone who knows someone who doesn't know this podcast, share. We'll be here for today a bit short. I mean, let's say 30 minutes, 45. And if they like this kind of stuff, they can subscribe and they get a notification because it happens every Thursday, usually at 7 p.m. So people are more than welcome to participate on this because it is usually very interactive. It's not just us talking. We get comments like our good friend John Brennan, who's just saying, looking forward to a great show, lads. Yeah, we'll make it happen for you, sir. Another comment here we have from John. We were all wrong about who would get sacked first. Massive shock. Darren Murphy left Finn Arps. We'll get into that in a bit. And thank you very much, John. Hope Portugal is treating you well. Yeah, I can't complain. Especially yesterday, the weather was great. It was like nearly 20 degrees. I was walking around in shirt. Today is decent. It's decent. So a bit of everything here. Also, if you have any comment, the chat box is open. So let's try to keep it 2 ways. And yeah, see where it goes. So let's start with the games and see what we have here. Any particular you want to pick? I let you, Cornell. Which one you want to start with?
Whichever, anyone that you feel is that we can talk about, then you choose.
All right, so let's start from the top. Then there is no secret. Top from my list: Waterford, St. Patrick's. Yeah, we had a Waterford fan last week who was a bit concerned what happened in the last few games. He believed that Waterford could benefit from the break. Now, I do believe that St. Patrick's is the opposite. They are now catching up. So it'll be interesting to see how do they get back to the pitch after the break.
This was a very interesting game because 2 teams, obviously, one team is fighting to challenge and win the League of Ireland title, and one team is fighting to challenge for European football. Very interesting game. St. Patrick's obviously are on absolute fire. When you've got Zach Zebedee, who is an absolute creator and wicked on the ball. You've got Aidan McKenna who's firing goals at the moment. But obviously St. Patrick's do what they always do, and that is score goals. Despite that, McKenna's had the most shots in the opposition's box with 25. So, it's a very interesting sort of season this season. But obviously St. Patrick's, as I said, they are on form for a reason, and they are second for a reason because of the front 4 that they have of McKenna and Zebedee and Mulaney. Of course, Simon Power has a part to play as well too. No Lennon in the team, which is a real shame, but they've shown that they can cope without him. Obviously Mason Melia, the next generation now, who's stepping up now and absolutely fantastic, for him to do what he does. But Waterford, yes, they are in trouble. And you know, you always question them, and you think they are the underdogs, and they're supposed to be competing in European places. But you know, look, St. Patrick's are on fire, and you know, yes, we did question them going from the start of the new season, of the beginning, and they've really picked up form, and you know, this is the fantastic form that St. Patrick's have really been in this new season.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that St. Patrick's are the favorites, or it's rather unpredictable?
It's still unpredictable, but for me, St. Patrick's are still favourites to win the League of Ireland title. If anybody was to ask me who do I think would be the contenders for the League of Ireland title, St. Patrick's will be one of them, Shamrock Rovers will be one of them, and Shelbourne will be one of them. But you know, this is the form that, you know, that St. Patrick's have been in. You know, Stephen Kenny, you know, who knows how to get the best out of this team and get the best out of the players. Of course, he's got players coming back soon from injury, and you know, when they have a full fit squad, you know, obviously they'll be, they're still up there still. But for me, this is the best performance and the best form that I've seen St. Patrick's has been in.
Interesting insight, Cornell. So just for the audience, would you guys agree that St. Patrick's is the number one favorite? Is there any other that you would name, any underdog that can create some trouble at the top? I don't know, Waterford, Cork, Galway, who knows? Even Galway at some point, I think it was like 3 games before the end of the season, Galway was still disputing, wasn't it?
Yeah, obviously, I do believe that there are some fantastic underdogs in this division. Galway, Drogheda, Cork City, you know, Saloga Rovers is also one. So not really underestimating the underdog teams, but you know, this is the best season that you've seen St. Patrick's been in. And you know, when you've got informed players like Aidan McKinnon, it's difficult to stop. You've got Zach Zebedee, who's having the best new season of his life at St. Patrick's since coming from the Swedish league. You've got Simon Power that's in there now. You've got Jake Mullaney, who's also playing well, even though yes, he's been in and out of form. You've got Mason Melia, who's coming into the fold as well. So this is the best time for St. Patrick's to really benefit from the international break and really get going again. You know, the back line of Joe Redmond, of course. You know, you've got Breslin, who's obviously on fire at the moment at left back. You know, this is the best you know, you could ask for from St. Patrick's right now.
So John just added the next 5 games will tell who the title contenders are going to be. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, definitely. I think the 5 games will decide what happens with St. Patrick's and how they really cope with the pressure, because they're second. Drogheda is first in the table. Obviously, you know, they'll win their next game tomorrow. And I do feel that St. Patrick's will carry on their form. From now till tomorrow.
Yeah. Bohemian Galway. If there's one team that no one believes that will be the title winners, is Bohemian, because they are so unstable. Galway, yeah, they can create trouble. Maybe they can fight for the European competitions. How will that play in your estimation on Friday?
Galway United, honestly, what a fantastic season they're having. You know, you got informed players like Moses Dyer, who is scoring goals, who's starting to score goals for fun. The new signings are starting to kick in. Their new manager is really starting to get the best out of them, and he's really sussing out what he can get out of this team and how he can get the very best out of Galway United and the players. As for Bohemians, don't get me started on Bohemians. Honestly, Bohemians for me just haven't been in very good form at all, and this is the reason why, you know, Bohemian fans are questioning you know, their club. They're questioning Alan Reynolds. They're questioning the players. Do they have the minerals to realistically carry on and start getting wins on the board, or is it just, you know, the hype around Mose and think, well, should they have bought Mose in the first place, or should they have bought a different player? Because since Ofalabi has actually left and gone to the Belgian league, even though he's been linked to come back to the League of Ireland and possibly could go on and go to Shamrock Rovers, Bohemians have not been in the best of form, and they haven't found their stride. And it looks like Alan Reynolds don't know his starting 11. He don't know what formation to play them. He's playing players out of position, and they're not excelling. You're supposed to be playing players. If you are a manager or if you're a head coach, you're supposed to be playing your best 11. You're supposed to know your best 11 to put on the pitch to play against. Doesn't matter who it is in the League of Ireland. You're supposed to know your starting 11. Obviously, Colin Whelan is realistically is pushing out Mose at the team. Mose obviously is still on the bench, not getting played. What was the point of signing him in the first place? And you've got Whelan that's absolutely bossing it up front and scoring the goals. Mose, obviously, I expected Mose to basically be in that starting 11 and get a regular place in this Bohemians team. Obviously, if anyone had to say who is their best signing right now, is Pearson's. Pearson's is the only one that's actually bossing it in this team. Mose, if he don't get any starting time in this Bohemians team, questions has to be asked. Was it right? Was it right to bring Mose into this team? Was it right to buy him? Should they have bought another striker? And basically another striker would have realistically gone on and scored more goals. Can he basically push out Whelan out of the team? The answer is no, because Whelan is going to carry on, keep nailing his place, nailing that starting 11 and pushing out Mose. And give Mose 5 or more games. And if he don't start playing, serious questions are going to be asked.
John is saying it's not even 5, it's 3.
Well, listen, free games. Yeah, give him 3 games. He might start firing, but if he doesn't get any game time, then what was the point of signing Mose in the first place?
Yeah, he's not doing his job. I mean, you expect a striker to score. That's it. They can be silent the whole game. If they manage to put the ball at the back of the net, that's it. They'll be forgiven for being silent for, say, 85 minutes. You just need to put that ball in the back of the net. That's what they're there for. That's it. Well, do you think if Bohemians lose on Friday against Galway, Reynolds will be gone, or they will give him another couple of weeks?
I think if he loses this game and he loses the other games coming up, then I think the board will sit down with each other and decide and say, well, as of now, I think it's time for Alan Reynolds to go, because Bohemians cannot be carrying on having 5, 6, 7 defeats and then there's no improvement and there's nothing going on from the new signings or the players that is there. So for me, if they lose this game against Galway United, despite that Galway United have been on a brilliant form and they can't be stopped right now. Obviously, last season, they missed out last season on European place, but realistically, Galway United look so much stronger than ever, and they look like a team that want to really be in that European places and compete for it. For Bohemians, if he loses this game, I would not be surprised if the board sack him after the game, after Bohemians play Galway United.
Going to Turner's Cross on that one, I think that's an interesting one. Drogheda is in very good form, although they lost last game. And Cork City, I think they need a win because they had a lot of draws and they're playing home. And Drogheda, okay, they're playing well, but they are not a shark. So there is a chance to get the 3 points. But Drogheda is in very good shape, so very difficult again.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult because obviously this is a slightly big, massive game between two teams that obviously want to win the game. Obviously, you've got Cork City, who obviously still hold the record of wins above on Drogheda. Obviously, Cork City have won 12 games. Drogheda''s won 3 games. This is a game that I feel that Drogheda really wants to go and win, because most of the time Cork City has been beating them. Cork City are still holding the win from since 2009, and Drogheda hasn't really gotten over that. So I think Drogheda will go into this game believing that they can really get a win over Cork City. Cork City themselves, obviously, they're getting their best players back. McCaughton is coming back, even though it's a little bit too soon for him to come back tomorrow to play tomorrow. But Cathy O'Sullivan, fantastic to see him coming back into the team, because he's the next big gen. at the age of 17, going on to 18, and I think I can definitely see him being the youngest player of the year from now till the end of the season.
Well, John, if that's what it takes, I will stay in Portugal just for Keita will Sullivan return to Cork. The one time I think Keita will Sullivan returns, no problem. I will rebook my flight and I won't be back on Sunday. All for the sake of Cork. I do everything I can, even outside of the pitch. So you think Dorf will be the winner on Friday?
I would like to see Cork City win again, but knowing my luck, Drogheda for me will want to win this game. I mean, obviously 12 draws, 15 wins for Cork City, 3 wins for Drogheda. This is a game that Drogheda is destined to win, and they're very determined to put it right. So I mean, obviously, look, what I think some people fail to understand that Drogheda are the underdogs. They're the underdogs here that want to really win this game. They want to go into this game believing that they can come up with a strategy and beat Cork City. Obviously, Rory Keating is going to be firing the goals. Obviously, again, Greg Bolger obviously coming back is a big boost for them, because since you guys have actually signed him, he's been like the best midfielder in the Cork City team. Obviously you've got a very good, decent defense at the back, and I think realistically, I think you've got a chance. But for me, this is going in Drogheda. This is going in Drogheta's favor for me.
Funny comment from John. I don't think you would complain of longer holidays. Holidays are never long. That's just how holidays are. They are never long by definition.
Oh, good.
Shamrock Derry. I can only expect Shamrock to win this game.
Massive game, this one. Massive game. Shamrock Rovers versus Derry City. Absolutely. Obviously, Derry City want to go into this game believing that they can really cause an upset on Shamrock Rovers, but Shamrock Rovers has just been on wicked form this season. You know, you can't take nothing away from from Shamrock Rovers right now. Danny Grant, Matt Healy. Since Matt Healy signed for Shamrock Rovers, he's just been an absolute turnaround for Shamrock Rovers. I still believe, obviously, I think Aaron Greeny, of course, will be key in this game. Obviously, if they can get Rory Gaffney playing as well, I think will be one thing. But I think the pressure will be on Noon as well, up front as well. I still believe they need a striker, but probably they'll wait until the summer, probably to bring Ofalabi in the summer and get them firing again and get them up there. But I still believe that Shamrock Rovers will be favourites for the League of Ireland title and try and get their 5th consecutive League of Ireland title. But Derry City, I think, is going to be very interesting. I think Lynch is trying to adapt to the League of Ireland since coming from the Northern Irish League. You know, obviously questions have been asked about him getting experienced players and players that are older, and you know it's been questioned a lot. But I think if he can get his players to gel and get them to play in a system and a formation that would really suit Derry City, then I believe that they can cause an upset towards Shamrock Rovers. But for me, this is going in Shamrock Rovers' favour right now, and especially with the form of, you know, you got Dylan Watts, absolutely one of the best passers in League of Ireland football, who's really bossing it in that midfield. Yeah, I know. Obviously, Poom is no longer there now, and since Healy's like fitted in, and since Danny Grant's had a part obviously to play, I think it's just been fantastic from Shamrock Rovers.
From John's perspective, this is the game of the weekend, I think, because there's a lot of stake for both teams.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is the game of the weekend. I think this is a game that is a must watch right now. Obviously, Shamrock Rovers and Derry. I think it'll be very interesting to see how both teams operate. Ed McGinty obviously was questioned when he signed. You know, people doubted him and said that he's not the best goalkeeper, and I disagree. Yes, in the games at the beginning, yes, he started to wilt, but since he's really start playing regularly now, we're seeing the very best of Ed McGinty, and there's more to come from him from now to the end of the season. So I think it'll be very interesting to see how how this game flatters, but for me, it goes in Shamrock Rovers' favor.
Sligo, Shelbourne. Like Shelbourne, they drew quite a few times since the beginning of the season. And on the other hand, I would say, okay, Sligo, they're at the bottom, but they made a hard time to a couple of teams, to St. Patrick's and a couple of others. So still, Shelbourne, in my opinion, might win, but it won't be that easy as it may seem.
No, it won't be. You have to give credit to Sligo Rovers. They've been absolutely fantastic. They have been the underdog team that has never given up, even if they're 1 goal down or 2 or 3 goals down. They'll always give you a hard game, and they will give Shelbourne a very hard game. Even though, yes, mighty Odebenko has had the most shots, but look, at the end of the day, you have to credit Shelbourne. You know, like, I think this is a game that they really need to get up and running. Obviously, the bug didn't really help them, you know, and Damien Duff had to basically fill out a team that he felt that he could really put out. But right now, I think with the squad being back now, then Shelbourne will feel very confident going into this Sligo Rovers game and really sending out a true statement to say that they are back. I mean, yes, the first half of this season, of the start, they showed that they were unbeaten, and then that came to a very end when they lost. But since then, I mean, the international break has really benefited them, and I think Shelbourne will be ones that I believe that will win this game and get 3 points on the board. So I think Sligo Rovers, obviously, despite they're at the bottom of the League of Ireland table and they haven't been in the best of form this season, they will give everything they have. But I think this game will be a bit too much for them, and I think definitely Shelbourne will win this game.
Sligo's coach is another man under a lot of pressure. If he loses on Friday with Shelbourne, he might be looking for employment next week.
Yeah, I think if he loses this game, I think there's a possibility he could be sacked and possibly looking for a brand new manager to get the best out of Sligo, because they haven't been in the best of form since losing Ellis Chapman to Shelbourne. I mean, obviously it's the battle between two midfielders of Ellis Chapman and Frisgreld. Obviously, you know, despite that Frisgreld has had the most assists this season with 7 assists. But again, Ellis Chapman obviously will want to have an upper hand on his old club. So it'll be very interesting. I think the two battles of two midfielders, I think, will be very interesting to watch. But I think for me, definitely Shelbourne will win this game.
So this is it for the Premier Division. We're just gonna discuss now the first division. I think the main shocking news was on Finn Harp's side of the house, with the manager being leaving the club, especially after they hammered Bray 5-0, which no one was expecting. Also, they could have won, but 5-0, that was really beyond everyone's imagination. How did you see the curse of events?
Yeah, interesting that. I mean, obviously the Finn Harps manager leaving right now, and now they're going to look for another manager to come and take over at Finn Harps. I mean, even though they won their game against Bray, but look, I think it's going to be very interesting who they bring, who they hire, and to see if the new manager can really get them back to doing what they do best. And I mean, look, Finn Harps obviously, you know, are trying to get their form up and running as well too. But I mean, getting rid of the man, maybe they could have kept their manager obviously and give him a chance to really try and get the best out of the Finn Harps team. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think it'll be very interesting to see who they hire, and they've got to hire the right manager that can really benefit his ideas, his strategy, his formation, and know his starting 11. So I'll be very interested to see.
Question from John Cornell. Do you think Ollie Organ leaves the Galway assistant manager role and returns home?
He could. I mean, he could be persuaded by Finn Harps, depending on if they want him or they want somebody different. But I think, look, Ollie Horgan obviously it wouldn't be surprising if he does leave Galway United and obviously try and come back and go home and return home to Finn Harps. So never rule that out.
In terms of the other games, I think want to highlight. I think Cove is catching up, and they are now second. They probably won't be able to challenge Dundalk, but for sure is one team to look for the playoff.
Yeah, obviously for me, the two teams that are obviously in competition with each other, obviously Cole, obviously don't rule them out. Wexford is also coming up as well. Obviously Treaty United, obviously, despite that Lee Deverett is still top scorer at the moment this season. But there's just no stopping Dundalk. I mean, they have just shown how brilliant they are. Dundalk, obviously, even when they went down last season, I said that they will be favourites to win the first division with the players that they've got now and the players that they've brought in during the winter period. And obviously they're going to bring more in in the summer, of course, when the summer transfer window opens. I just think there's no stopping them right now. And they'll carry on the form that they're doing now, and they will stay top of the table. Yes, of course, there's going to be a team in the first division that will try and knock them off their perch, but it's too difficult to really knock them off. And then you've got informed players like Lee Devitt as well. You've got players like in Dundalk's team that are just really bossing it at the moment, and it is very, very difficult to handle. But obviously, I think for me, the ones that I believe that will be in contention to really challenge, I think will be Cole, Wexford. Don't rule out Kerry City FC. I think there'll be ones to look forward, ones that will be around there. But I think for me, it's between Kolb and I think Bray obviously have a chance and stuff. But for me, there's just no stopping. There's no stopping Dundalk right now.
So from John's perspective, if they didn't have Lee David, we would be last. Like Lee David is the man everyone is talking about.
Yeah, he's on fire right now. He's top scorer right now with 9 goals this season for Treaty United. It's just no stopping him. And look, he's scoring goals for fun, and he wants to make sure that he can help Treaty United get up the table and finish in a good position from now to the end of the season. But I think if he carries on scoring more goals and he carries on doing what he does best, I think Treaty United will have a real player on their hands, and they're showing that already. But it's very competitive in the first division this season, and there are some teams that are in that promotion area and some that might fight for the relegation playoff places from now to the end of the season.
All right, so let's now briefly discuss we say a few minutes about the Ireland game. We watched it together, the first leg. It started very bad, but Ireland managed to win. And the same story happened on the second leg. And was the team equally consistent on the second leg in the Aviva?
They were consistent. I really like the way that the link-up play between Troy Parrier and Evan Ferguson. It was just absolutely fantastic to watch. The first goal, obviously, I think maybe they could have done a bit better. Obviously, not conceding that goal. Obviously, look, Kelliher is still young. Obviously, he's going to be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season and probably going to either a Bournemouth or a Chelsea to get himself back in contention to still be in the Irish team. I still believe that League of Ireland players should be chosen. I think Helgeson should be looking at players from Shamrock Rovers and Shelburne and other teams as well in the League of Ireland, because there are some fantastic players in good form. I mean, look at Jay Hickey, obviously of Saloga Rovers, who got picked for the under-21s. I believe that he should be in the first team for Ireland. Well, obviously, Ireland winning this game. I mean, the first goal, unlucky. Yeah, shouldn't have conceded it. But Ireland showed the grit. They showed the resilience, and they showed the positivity. They showed that they were never going to give up, at all. I just believe that obviously Jake O'Brien, obviously from coming playing at Cork City to go into now playing in France and then to play for Everton, this just shows the form that he is right up the top right now, Victor. You see the way that O'Brien played at the back of the heart of the Irish defense. That his performance was just spot on, was just fantastic. But Evan Ferguson, Adam Adar, honestly, two players that scored both goals. I think they'll be very, very key. And I think what would be very interesting is if Helgeson can really nail his starting 11, know his best 11, know what formation he feels he can really play and get the very best, because they are quality players, Victor. You can clearly see that, and they are players in this team that want to be get the best out of, want to be playing regular games. Yes, he's going to get it wrong. Of course, he will get it wrong. You can clearly see that. Yes, the first leg, yes, he got it wrong. Jake O'Brien should have been started in the first leg, but obviously he's listened to the fans, and Jake O'Brien has started. In the second leg, and that is how key it is. I mean, look, the games in the UEFA Nations League obviously is going to be seriously tough. Honestly, I think Portugal playing against Cristiano Ronaldo is not going to be easy, because Cristiano Ronaldo is on fire right now for his club in Saudi. But honestly, look, Ireland are the underdogs. They will go into these games and try and make sure that they can qualify from the group and make sure they can, smash it as much as they can. But obviously, this is the best that we've seen from Ireland. But it's about Helgeson getting playing the right players and really nailing his starting 11.
Yeah, I would even say that I think Ireland has a realistic chance of finishing second, because I think Hungary had better days. They are now on the what I call the twilight period. They were at the peak maybe 3-4 years ago, and this like slowly are declining. And Ireland is on the opposite route. Is going up. So I think there is a chance that Ireland will be in a better position than Hungary when they meet at the end of the year. And who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Ireland will finish second.
Yeah, I won't be surprised myself. I would love to see Ireland finish second. I think that would be a fantastic position for them to really end their qualifying chances, and instead of finishing lower in their group. Because I mean, if they were to finish low in their group, then I think questions would be asked of Helgeson. Is he the right man to really lead Ireland to victory and to greatness? But for me, I think second would do a lot. But what I would like to see Helgeson do, I would like to see him pick some League of Ireland players and really bring them into this team, into this Ireland team, because the players that have been informed, I would like to see Aidan McKenna be chosen to represent his country. Josh Houlihan of Shamrock Rovers, who's been in wicked form for Shamrock Rovers, I would like to see him, represent England as well. There's Dylan Watts is another one, best passer in the League of Ireland, as I've always stated. That's the reason why he won the most assists last season with 7. Again, there's so many ballers that are in the League of Ireland that deserve to be in the League of Ireland team, and I wouldn't want to see like Helgeson really like push them away and say, well, they're not good enough to be in this team, because they are quality. You've got Mason Melia, who made his debut for the under-21s for Ireland. What a big, massive achievement for him. But at the end of the day, it's down to Helgeson who he picks and who he wants in the Irish team.
He's still new to the job, but do you believe he's building the bond between himself and the fans?
Yeah, I think yes, of course. I do understand that he's new, and it's going to take him a bit of a while for him to know his best 11 and to know his starting his formation and his strategy going into certain games. Of course, you got to give him time. You got to give him a chance to really show the fans that he can really get the best out of Ireland and really get them back to the dominant Ireland that we always know. But also, it's about not just obviously giving Helgeson time. It's about making sure that he knows his starting 11. He knows his best 11, his best players that he wants to start. You know, not leaving out players that are on the bench and that can really make a difference. Like you've got Evan Ferguson, who's obviously on loan at West Ham, and obviously is trying to get into the West Ham team, in which he is doing. But again, you know, Parrier obviously, who's just on fire in the Dutch league. So, you know, these are type of players that he'll be looking at, and of course, you know, in the Championship, who's bossing it as well too. But for me, you know, you got Robbie Brady in there, of course. You know, you've got Doherty in there. Like when he plays for Ireland, he's fantastic. When he plays in the Championship, you're thinking, why is he not performing how he's performing for Ireland? So it's very interesting. And then when you got Jake O'Brien at the back, who's like a really heart of that Irish defense, it's just a different ball game. But look, at the end of the day, I think Ireland will be up there this in the Nations League. They'll finish the group strong and high, and definitely will be underdogs going into the Nations League.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see the coach attending any League of Ireland games, which I think it would be a good way to send a sign to the fans that he's paying attention and he's trying to be as near as he can to the football in Ireland. I think that would be a great way to watch very close the squad. I mean, I know he kind of invited some of the League of Ireland managers for a pint. But I think he could also do some job actually on the field, like attend the games and be there. I think that will send the right message, in my estimation.
Yeah, I think it's great to see that you know, Helgeson can attend games in the League of Ireland, of course, and in the Championship and League Ones and Twos, and look for the right players to come in and pick them for Ireland. And it shows that he's really looking for talent. And obviously he spoke about looking at players in the League of Ireland. Of course, you know, he obviously bringing in the right ones that really would suit and fit the Irish international team. So, you know, this is fantastic of Helgeson. But obviously, I think if he keeps nailing his best 11, he keeps nailing his best formation, I think we'll definitely see the very best of Ireland.
John, I didn't think I would see the Ireland win 2 games in a row.
Yeah, neither did I. Obviously, you would. I think most Ireland fans would think, well, they go into this game and they would probably lose. But the possibility of that never happened. They went into this game and they believed, and they never gave up, and they showed that they can obviously keep in the Nations League and stay in the UEFA Nations League B.
Yeah, so there will be plenty of good games in the pipeline. First, the World Cup qualifiers, and once the Nations League will start, there will be some other matches. I think the draw didn't happen yet, but it's to take place in the next couple of months, as far as I remember. So everyone is eager to see who will be the opponents, who will visit us in the Aviva, and where we can accompany the team when they'll be playing away. So looking forward for that, and also for the game. So thanks very much again for the insights, Cornell. We will be here again next Thursday. Same time, same channel. Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you to all the Irish fans and everybody that's watching. Thank you very much, and thank you to. We're not far away from 5 subscribers of 700. Obviously.
Oh yeah. We need to put that on the screen. We are just 5 subscribers of 700. So guys, if you are already subscribed, thank you very much. And what I can also ask you, if you don't mind, just throw this link to your WhatsApp group to your friends who are into this topic. There's a playlist actually where they can see not only this episode but the previous. I think it's now episode 6, if I remember well, or 7. So I think that's a good way to promote not only this podcast but also League of Ireland, and maybe people who are abroad who want to know more about the Irish football. If they are, say, in Europe or even in Australia, why not? This is happening at 7 p.m. Irish time, but you know, the lads in Australia can watch it more or so. So I'll be very, very pleased if you can help us get to 700 subscribers and more. So that's how this thing works. If you enjoy the chat, there is another button that I'll be very keen to see you press, is like. And if you can subscribe, share, like everything. All the buttons there are in our favor. So we'll see everyone next Thursday at 7 p.m. and have a good rest of the evening. Take care, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.